Meditation is bringing the mind back home, and this is first achieved through the practice of mindfulness. The practice of mindfulness, of bringing the scattered mind home, and so of bringing the different aspects of our being into focus, is called peacefully remaining, or calm abiding. Peacefully remaining accomplishes three things. First, all the fragmented aspects of ourselves which have been at war settle and dissolve and become friends. In that settling, we begin to understand ourselves more, and sometimes even have glimpses of the radiance of our fundamental nature. Second, the practice of mindfulness diffuses our negativity, aggression, and turbulent emotions. Rather than suppressing emotions or indulging in them, here it is important to view them and your thoughts, and whatever arises, with an acceptance and generosity that are as open and spacious as possible. Tibetan masters say that this wise generosity has the flavor of boundless space, so warm and cozy that you feel enveloped and protected by it, as if by a blanket of sunlight. Third, this practice unveils and reveals your essential good heart, because it dissolves and removes the unkindness or the harm in you. Only when we have removed the harm in ourselves do we become truly useful to others. Through the practice, then, by slowly removing the unkindness and harm from ourselves, we allow our true good heart, the fundamental goodness and kindness that are our real nature, to shine out and become the warm climate in which our true being flowers. Meditation is the true practice of peace, the true practice of non-aggression and non-violence, and the real and greatest disarmament.
When I teach meditation, I often begin by saying, bring your mind home, release the grasping, and relax into your nature. The whole point of meditation practice can be essentialized into these three crucial points. That is, bringing your mind home, releasing the grasping, and relaxing in your nature. Each phrase contains meaning that resonate on many levels. To bring your mind home means to bring the mind into the state of calm abiding through the practice of mindfulness. In its deepest sense, to bring your mind home is to turn your mind inward and to rest in the nature of mind. This itself is the highest meditation. To release means to release mind from its prison of grasping, since you recognize that all pain and fear and distress rise from the craving of the grasping mind. The profound and natural generosity that enables you to release all your grasping from your heart and letting it free itself to melt away in the inspiration of meditation. Finally, to relax means to be spacious and to relax the mind of its tensions. More deeply, you relax into true nature of your mind. It is like pouring a handful of sand onto a flat surface. Each grain settles of its own accord. This is how you relax into your true nature, letting all thoughts and emotions naturally subside and dissolve into the state of the nature of mind. Think of your ordinary emotional thought-ridden self as a block of ice or a slab of butter left out in the sun. If you're feeling hard or cold, let this aggression melt away in the sunlight of your meditation. Let peace work on you and enable you to gather your scattered mind into the mindfulness of calm abiding, and awaken in you the awareness of the insight of clear seeing. And you will find that all your negativity disarmed, your aggression dissolved, and your confusion evaporating, slowly like the mist into the vast and stainless sky of your absolute nature. Quietly sitting, body still, speech silent, mind at peace. Let thoughts and emotions, whatever rises, come and go without clinging to anything. What does the state feel like? Sogyal Rinpoche used to say, imagine a man who comes home after a long, hard day's work in the fields and sinks into his favorite chair in front of the fire. He has been working all day and he knows that he has achieved what he wanted to achieve. There's nothing more to worry about, nothing left accomplished. And he can let go completely of all his cares and concerns, content simply to be. So when you meditate, it is essential to create the right inner environment of the mind. All effort and struggle come from not being spacious. So creating that right environment is vital for your meditation to truly happen. The masters say, if you create an auspicious condition in your body and your environment, then meditation and realization will automatically rise. When humor and spaciousness are present, meditation rises effortlessly. Sometimes when I meditate, I don't use any particular method. I just allow my mind to rest and find, especially when I'm inspired, that I can bring my mind home and relax very quickly. I sit quietly and rest in the nature of mind. I don't question or doubt whether I'm in the correct state or not. There is no effort, only rich understanding, wakefulness, and unshakable certainty. When I'm in that nature of mind, the ordinary mind is no longer there. There is no need to sustain or confirm a sense of being. I simply am. A fundamental trust is present. There is nothing in particular to do.
If your mind is able to settle naturally of its own accord, and if you are inspired simply to rest in its pure awareness, then you do not need any method of meditation. In fact, it might even be unskillful when you're in such a state to try to employ one. However, the vast majority of us find it difficult to arrive at that state straight away. We simply do not know how to awaken it, and our minds are so wild and so distracted that we need a skillful means, a method to evoke it. But remember, a method is only a means, not the meditation itself. It is through practicing the method skillfully that you reach the perfection of that pure state of total presence, which is the real meditation. As you continue to practice the method, then meditation slowly arises. Meditation is not something that you can do. It is something that has to happen spontaneously, only when we have perfected the practice. By far the most important feature of meditation is not the technique, but the spirit, the skillful, inspired, and creative way in which we practice, which could also be called the posture. There is a connection between the posture of the body and the attitude of the mind. Mind and body are interrelated, and meditation arises naturally once your posture and attitude are inspired. The posture explained here may differ slightly from others you may be used to. It comes from the ancient teachings of Dzogchen. In the Dzogchen teachings, it is said that your view and your posture should be like a mountain. Your view is a summation of your whole understanding and insight into the nature of mind, which you bring to your meditation. So your view translates into and inspires your posture, expressing the core of your being in the way you sit. Sit then as if you were a mountain, with all the unshakable, steadfast majesty of a mountain. A mountain is completely natural and at ease with itself, however strong the winds that batter it, however thick the dark clouds that swirl around its peak. Sitting like a mountain, let your mind rise and fly and soar. The most essential point of this posture is to keep the back straight, like an arrow or a pile of golden coins. The inner energy or prana will then flow easily through the subtle channels of the body, and your mind will find its true state of rest. Don't force anything. The lower part of the spine has a natural curve. It should be relaxed but upright. Your head should be balanced comfortably on your neck. It is your shoulders and the upper part of your torso that carry the strength and grace of the posture, and they should be held in strong poise, but without any tension. Sit with your legs crossed. You do not have to sit in the full lotus posture, which is emphasized more in advanced yoga practice. The crossed legs express the unity of life and death, good and bad, skillful means and wisdom, masculine and feminine principles, samsara and nirvana, the humor of non-duality. You may also choose to sit on a chair, with your legs relaxed, but be sure always to keep your back straight. Your eyes should be kept open. This is a very important point. If you are sensitive to disturbances from outside, when you begin to practice, you may find it helpful to close your eyes for a while and quietly turn within. Once you feel established in calm, gradually open your eyes, and you will find your gaze has grown more peaceful and tranquil. Now look downwards, along the line of your nose, at an angle of about 45 degrees in front of you. One practical tip in general is that whenever your mind is wild, it is best to lower your gaze, and whenever it is dull and sleepy, to bring the gaze up. Once your mind is calm and the clarity of insight begins to arise, you will feel free to bring your gaze up, opening your eyes more and looking into the space directly in front of you. This is the gaze recommended in the Dzogchen practice. In the Dzogchen teachings, it is said that your meditation and your gaze should be like the vast expanse of a great ocean, all-pervading, open, and limitless. Just as your view and posture are inseparable, so your meditation inspires your gaze, and they now merge as one. Do not focus then on anything in particular. Instead, turn back into yourself slightly, and let your gaze expand and become more and more spacious and pervasive. You will discover now that your vision itself becomes more expansive, and that there is more peace, more compassion in your gaze, more equanimity, and more poise. There are several reasons for keeping the eyes open. With the eyes open, you're less likely to fall asleep. Then meditation is not a means of running away from the world, or of escaping from it into a trance-like experience of an altered state of consciousness. On the contrary, it is a direct way to help us truly understand ourselves and relate to life and the world.
The following meditation techniques are particularly effective in the modern world. Anyone can use and benefit from them. They are watching the breath, using an object, and reciting a mantra. The first method is very ancient and found in all schools of Buddhism. It is to rest your attention lightly and mindfully on the breath. The breath, or prana in Sanskrit, is said to be the vehicle of the mind, because it is the prana that makes our mind move. So when you calm the mind by working skillfully with the breath, you are simultaneously and automatically taming and training the mind. Haven't we all experienced how relaxing it can be when life becomes stressful to be alone for a few minutes and just breathe in and out? So when you meditate, breathe naturally, just as you always do. Focus your awareness lightly on the out-breath. When you breathe out, just flow out with the out-breath. Each time you breathe out, you are letting go and releasing all your grasping. Imagine your breath dissolving into the all-pervading expanse of truth. Each time you breathe out, and before you breathe in again, you will find that there will be a natural gap as the grasping dissolves. Rest in that gap, in that open space. And when naturally you breathe in, don't focus especially on the in-breath, but go on resting your mind in the gap that has opened up. When you are practicing, it's important not to get involved in mental commentary, analysis, or internal gossip. Do not mistake the running commentary in your mind. Now I'm breathing in, now I'm breathing out, for mindfulness. What is important is pure presence. Don't concentrate too much on the breath. Give it about 25% of your attention, with the other 75% quietly and spaciously relaxed. As you become more mindful of your breathing, you will find that you become more and more present. Gather all your scattered aspects back into yourself and become whole. Rather than watching the breath, let yourself gradually identify with it, as if you were becoming it. Slowly the breath, the breather, and the breathing become one. Duality and separation dissolve. You will find that this very simple process of mindfulness filters your thoughts and emotions. Then, as if you were shedding an old skin, something is peeled off and freed. Some people, however, are not relaxed or at ease with watching the breathing. They find it almost claustrophobic. For them, the next technique might be more helpful. The second method, which many people find useful, is to rest the mind lightly on an object. You can use an object of natural beauty that invokes a special feeling of inspiration for you, such as a flower or crystal. But something that embodies the truth, such as an image of the Buddha or Christ, is even more powerful. Your master is your living link with the truth, and because of your personal connection to your master, just seeing his face connects you to the inspiration and truth of your own nature. A third technique, used a great deal in Tibetan Buddhism and also in Sufism, Orthodox Christianity and Hinduism, is uniting the mind with the sound of a mantra. The definition of mantra is that which protects the mind. That which protects the mind from negativity, or that which protects you from your own mind, is called mantra. When you are nervous, disoriented, or emotionally fragile, chanting or reciting a mantra inspiringly can change the state of your mind completely by transforming its energy and atmosphere. How is this possible? Mantra is the essence of sound and the embodiment of the truth in the form of sound. Each syllable is impregnated with spiritual power, condenses a spiritual truth. It is also said that the mind rides on the subtle energy of the breath, the prana, which moves through and purifies the subtle channels of the body. So when you chant a mantra, you are charging your breath and energy with the energy of the mantra, and so working directly on your mind and subtle body. Recite the mantra quietly, with deep attention, and let your breath, the mantra, and your awareness become slowly one. Or chant it in an inspiring way, and rest in the profound silence that sometimes follows. What, then, should we do with the mind in meditation? Nothing at all. Just leave it, simply, as it is. One master described meditation as mind suspended in space, nowhere. There is a famous saying, if the mind is not contrived, it is spontaneously blissful, just as water, when not agitated, is by nature transparent and clear. The mind in meditation could be compared to a jar of muddy water. The more we leave the water without interfering or stirring it, the more the particles of dirt will sink to the bottom, letting the natural clarity of the water shine through. The very nature of the mind is such that if you only leave it in its unaltered and natural state, it will find its true nature, which is bliss and clarity. Alert your alertness, but at the same time be relaxed, so relaxed, in fact, that you don't even hold on to an idea of relaxation.
When people begin to meditate, they often say that their thoughts are running riot and have become wilder than ever before. This is a good sign. Far from meaning that your thoughts have become wilder, it shows that you have become quieter, and you are finally aware of just how noisy your thoughts have always been. Don't be disheartened or give up. Whatever arises, just keep being present. Keep returning to the breath, even in the midst of all the confusion. Sometimes people think that when they meditate there should be no thoughts and emotions at all, and when thoughts and emotions do arise, they become annoyed and exasperated with themselves and think they have failed. Nothing could be further from the truth. There is a Tibetan saying, "It's a tall order to ask for meat without bones and tea without leaves." So long as you have a mind, there will be thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and emotions are the radiance and expression of the very nature of the mind. They arise from the mind, but where do they dissolve? Back into the mind. Whatever rises, do not see it as a particular problem. If you do not impulsively react, if you are only patient, it will once again settle into its essential nature. When you have this understanding, then rising thoughts only enhance your practice. But when you do not understand what they intrinsically are, the radiance of the nature of your mind, then your thoughts become the seed of confusion. So have a spacious, open, and compassionate attitude toward your thoughts and emotions. Because in fact, your thoughts are your family, the family of your mind.